So it's the 18th of December. Taking lambs to Ruswarp. And it's very mild. It's on the dash it says 12 degrees, but I think it's actually more like 10, maybe 11. So after all the icy weather, it's quite a nice change. It's dried up quite a bit. It's been very windy, although it's actually been a bit of drizzle this morning again. But I penned them up yesterday, and the pen was like stiff mud, if you know what I mean. It was muddy, but not like the time before where they churned it all up into slop and covered each other in sloppy mud, and me as well. But it's been a bit of rain again since that, so well, I think it's just been drizzling. They're at the mast this morning, and it's just an electrician. He's putting power into the new part. But if need be, on like a temporary basis, by running a patch wire from the older part to the new part, plugging this, there's like a generator input. So he's plugging, basically making a plug-in power patch lead, if you like, into that, I think. But he said unless he can work out a way to do it properly. Because it sounds like they must be going to do some testing or something this week. Like he said, it more or less had to be done like today. This is what happens. There's been nobody there since about September, and then suddenly it has to be done within like today, or else something goes horribly wrong. Well, often it's not. They say things like that, and then nobody actually comes on the day. So I do have some misgivings about this taking shape today. It's so near Christmas, obviously, the 18th. But you never know. I mean, they might think, we'll get some in store to take us through to New Year. But also, they may be thinking, do we really want them? And also, because it's been so dry, maybe a lot of other people will be trying a few today. I was going to take some last week, but it was raining all Sunday afternoon when I had not had a mean. And then that market day was some sort of special show day, so perhaps my rather mediocre ones would have looked a bit plain compared to some of the better ones that they had in. But actually I'm quite pleased with what I've got in here. I was expecting to have problems getting them. And I quite easily got 12, especially texels. I've got a lot of texels in. The texel is definitely fattening better than the other weird things, and I've got the last two Suffolk, because there wasn't many of them. I just wonder who has a good show of Christmas lights down here. They're usually quite good in Castleton. But, so I have it in mind to one evening, perhaps, if there's some good Christmas lights, to come and do a bit of video. Not particularly in Castleton, but I was thinking of going down to Whitby one evening this week, just to have a walk around and see the Christmassy stuff. But I'm certainly not that bothered. It's not something I'm normally very big on, but it did occur to me I might do, especially if it's mild and dry. Though somebody said, well, your Christmas lights actually look better if the street's a bit wet, because it reflects them. You don't really want it to be actually raining though, do you? But I think that's a fair point, actually. Well, anyway, this is the darkest run of the year for this job. That's one of the problems. Like when you pen them up on the Sunday, I was out there ready to go by 1:30, but it took most of 2 hours, because I was worming the ones that were left, and by which time it was 3:30 by the time I got back home. That is more or less finished, everything back apart from the pens still to pick up. So anyway, here technically sunset is yesterday was 3:39, which is actually a minute later than the day before, so we're already going the right way a bit on sunsets, but only just. But since it goes behind the hill before 3 o'clock, it's a bit of a moot point with the exact time of sunset. But suffice to say, by 4 o'clock it's started to get dark. At least there isn't enough light to do things that you need to see stuff. It's like probably said this before, but to me one of the worst things about winter in this country is how dark it is through December. It actually, sometimes January, it's quite striking how rapidly you sort of come out of it, especially if it's a bit brighter and sunnier and less cloudy, because it's not just the short daylight hours, but days like today with like a heavy overcast. But the sun is incredibly low through. By the end of December, it's literally just skimming the horizon, really. I don't think it gets above, is it 12 degrees? So that's really low. So even when it is sunny, it's actually not as bright as it would be in other times of year. But it's quite attractive light when the sun is out. But that's like not even 1 day a week. Man, tomorrow looks alright. Tomorrow's going to be quite sunny. And when you do get that low sunlight, everything looks so sort of colourful. It's surprising, really. But it's partly a reaction to being so gloomy for days on end in between. But really, once you get through Christmas and New Year, it might well be the coldest time of the year just coming up, but it isn't always. notice. So you're at that quite rapid, really, increase in day lengths and sun strength to get through towards February. And in some ways, it's the nicest time of the year. I think we'll find a very little traffic on even on the main road, because even Whitby goes a bit quiet this time of year. The Christmas shopping crowd. They'll be arriving, I suppose, any minute. In fact, the funny thing is, I'm just looking up the coast to my left, and despite this cloud layer and low light, it's actually very good visibility. You can see right up the coast. You can see Hartlepool headland easily. You won't be able to see it on this one, but I can see all the turbines at Redcar. Well, not all of them, but I can see turbines at Redcar. Which, well, it's not that far, but you just don't normally expect to see them. Particularly just behind that sign now. That was a bit lucky. I just committed to come out as just a car came over the hill. This is what happens, though. It's not so bad if you've just got the car, but when you've got the trailer on, firstly you can't zoom out that fast. There's quite a bit more dangling out behind you. Anyway, they weren't going that fast. It does say slow on the road, like, because of the difficulty getting out. They've still got the big crane there. I think there's some major building work going on in the area of the original West Cliff Station, which was a slaughterhouse for a while after it closed. Well, not necessarily the exact same buildings, but that site. Now then, what's going on? Oh, I see. Got some sort of roadworks, probably with lights. We're off there. Yes, they are. I don't really appreciate what they're going. What on earth they are going to causing delays right back to 4-lane ends. Look. their diesel's cheap, but the petrol's quite dear. Just next door neighbour, more or less, was right in front of me, which is a bit surprising.